You are listening to the Gritty Podcast, where we talk about all things gritty.
Welcome to the Gritty Podcast. I'm Brad Hunt. We've got Brian Call over here. We're on our way back from the Bear Tour, driving one more of our in-car podcasts. Today we're going to go over hunts that are good budget, good epic budget hunts. We think that may give you an opportunity to get out in the field. So we got a big list of, well, not a big list, but a list of
when we say budget, we're like, okay, what kind of blue collar guy, like back in my day,
you can save
before I got to go on epic hunts for less than the average guy.
Yep.
You know,
you can save up a little bit of time. You can go on this hunt and it's not going to totally break the.
I'd say about $3,000, $3
to $4 grand, $4,000 on the very high end,
$3,000 on the low end. It's not chump change.
Nope.
That's a chunk for some folks.
Correct.
But it's something you could save up for and then go out and have a killer adventure.
Yep. Exactly. Get your buddies out there.
And there's a few that'll sneak up to $5,000.
Yeah. But these are,
But we're kind of capping it in that range.
For sure.
Okay. What are those hunts? What do they look like? Now, the cheapest of the cheap, the least expensive of them all, is something like a spring bear adventure. Mountain hunt.
Correct.
Man, you can go in where you're dodging grizzlies, where the terrain is hard to navigate, steep, cliffed out.
Yep.
Remote.
You're living
wild.
Off the land. No, I'm just kidding.
That hunt, the bear tags can be a couple $100.
Yep.
They're over the counter. Your travel is what
affordable.
It takes to get to that state. If it's not your home state, that could be anywhere from, a cross-country trip if you drove it versus fly. Somewhere around, less than $1,000.
Yeah, think about it. You buy a flight. You're coming back from the east, even. You got giant bears out there, but the mountain adventure, fly out here to west with your gear, rent a U-Haul truck for $20 per day or something.
Yeah, a few years ago, Pedro Ampuero came over from Spain, did that hunt with us, and he's like, dude, you guys just bought this tag. It's in your backyard. You did this epic hunt. He said, this is every bit as epic as any insane wild ibex, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, Mongolia type hunt he's been on.
Right.
He's like, I had no idea that a black bear hunt could be so adventurous. This was awesome. You guys are blessed. Public lands rule. So right there, man, it's an adventure you could save up for, and you could go do it and make it whatever you want. The other one is similarly elk hunting. Again, any mountain hunt. You could get some points in a state, make your way out there.
Obviously, your tags are a little more expensive, but it's still in that really lower budget range of hunts.
And the same with mule deer.
Yep.
Right? Like find a hunt out west, Colorado, whatnot, get your tag, head out. You can car camp hunt it, or you could remote in. There's lots of ways to do it.
Yep.
These are kind of your standard, budget adventure hunts. Basically, the adventure part is get remote, find areas and hunts that take you someplace special, hard to get to. So if you kind of step into the next category, I would say that's your kind of, you might need to save up a little bit for this. One of those would be Kodiak Island blacktail.
Yep. Right.
That hunt you could go and do for $3,000 or less, easy.
And there's a lot of lodges that,
like, what is Jerry?
They're around, I believe, around like the $3,700 mark. So you're still that pretty much sub 400-ish mark.
4,000.
Or sorry, 4,000.
Yeah,
sorry.
We went and did a hunt with Foxtail Lodge.
Yep. You can, if you
our
got
buddy Jerry
a little
over
more,
there.
a little more cash, then you can make it a bundle, do the fishing and the deer hunting
and the waterfowl.
It's cool. It is an awesome experience. If you've never seen duck hunted, I'm not a big waterfowler by any means. It was cool. It was one of the most fun experiences I've ever had.
It's a kick butt adventure. We
Yep.
did a film of it. If you want to go check it out,
Yep.
It was with Adam Weatherby and the Weatherby crew.
Mhm.
We combined the blacktail deer hunting with the
Sea
duck
duck
hunting and the fishing and stuff. So
Yep.
it's a really neat hunt. But you could also DIY that thing.
Correct.
You could get a hold of a pilot who will drop you on a little pond or someplace out there. If you flew, you could also get someone that has a boat service to drop you off, or you can drive and hike into some areas,
Right.
rent a car. So Kodiak, though, man, you could do
cool.
that hunt for $1,000. It's definitely doable. Depends how much you want to make it a DIY versus on your own.
Yep.
But it's very doable. Another one is Prince of Wales Island. Hey, if you like our show and you want to support us, you can head over to one of our partners, which is Canvas Cutter. They sell these awesome bed rolls that we've been using for years. You can just throw these suckers out on the ground, camp in them. You see I got my sleeping bag inside. Can't recommend them enough. They also have duffel bags, some of the best you've seen, Canvas duffel bags. They've got beanbag chairs as well. They call them the dirt bag. They got wall tents. Head on over there, use the code GRIDDY. Check it out. Cannot recommend the bedrolls enough. Let's get back to the show. I've done that 3 times for deer. I mean, and bear, I should say. One of the,
If
man,
you can draw the bear tags.
the bear tag's been tough to draw. Some have gotten it. Here's the deal, though. Southeast Alaska in general is very similar. There's lots of bear tags in various units that you could go for and get one of those big old, Southeast Alaskan black bears. But the deer, the blacktail deer in August, it's a great hunt, killer adventure.
Yep.
You're going to be around them bears.
Can be kind of a warmer weather hunt in a way.
It's a wet hunt.
It's a wet hunt.
It can rain on you a lot. Get some fishing in, though, at the same time. There's lots of there's cool salmon stuff going on then. But, man, we just flew down there. My brother-in-law brought our backpacks and a rolling cooler with wheels on it. That was our luggage. 2 pieces of luggage. We flew there. We got a car from, I think, Hollis Adventure Rental, something like that. Rented a little Toyota pickup. We drove up to a spot on a map we had picked, got out and hiked up through the brush into the alpine, and then saw, 100 blacktails. And then we spot and stalked these deer. I killed one with my bow. I got a couple with a rifle. Brother-in-law got a couple, and we packed them out and cut up the meat at the truck, threw it into our coolers, and jumped on a plane and flew home.
Yep.
That was cheap. The car was like $500 for the week. We split that. The airfare, I think, was round trip like $350 or something, $400.
Yep.
It was less than $700-800, and we just bombed up there. Had a great bow hunting adventure. It's a great bow hunting adventure. These bucks in velvet up above alpine. You can shoot, I think, 2 now. Back then we could shoot 4, I think. But you have to check
your local
the regs.
regulations. Yep.
But man, that's a great hunt too. So,
speaking of like a really pretty easy in a way warm weather hunt, and fellas, you can probably take your wife along. Hawaii, like access goat deer.
I can't speak to it because I've never done it.
Me either, but I have a lot of buddies.
Me too.
That live over there and have done it, and they're like, it's incredible. I mean,
goat, the access deer,
access
there's all sorts of pigs.
Incredible. I've had access deer meat, and it is so good.
Yeah.
Like, it is so good, and it's a cool place.
Yeah.
So another cheap one.
There's quite a bit of hunting there.
Yep.
Yeah, I think New Zealand.
Yes.
That hunt is hard to beat for adventure. If you want to just bow hunt it, it's a cakewalk for the logistics. Bringing a rifle into New Zealand takes a little more effort.
Yep.
You got to have someone kind of sponsor you, and so you need a contact over there. But other than that, the cost is very minimal. If you do it with archery, that's fine. You don't need any of that.
Yep. Lots of opportunity.
and you can hunt tahr, you can hunt stag, you can hunt pigs, you can hunt
fallow deer.
I mean,
there are red stags in some areas that are.
There's actually a lot better red stag hunting than I think a lot of Americans think.
Yeah, right.
That hunt is $3,000 or less. I mean, it can be less.
Your absolute biggest expense is timing and the flight over there. That's by far
the country is
expense.
amazing.
Yeah.
The food is so good. The people are cool. They're very cool, and the hunting is on steroids. It's funny because you run into a Kiwi and they're complaining about only seeing. I swear they're spoiled. They don't know they're spoiled. They're spoiled. These Kiwis complain when they're not seeing some giants, up in some pockets, or they only saw so many. Dude, we ran into a friend, an acquaintance of ours from New Zealand. He has a YouTube channel.
Yep.
And he hunted some wilderness, and he's like, we saw one elk, and I killed it on 10 days. Like, well, yeah, welcome to America.
Yeah.
And a lot of our hunts are like that. And in New Zealand, I swear, man, their bad hunts are awesome.
Yep.
So
yep.
That place is just a killer adventure, man. And you can make it as hard as you want. It can be like grasslands and rolling hills, drive up to a trailhead. Your grandpa could walk it.
Yep.
Or the steepest, nastiest.
Go to the Alps.
Scariest.
Kick your butt.
Yeah.
However you want to make it.
Yeah. So
a lot of adventure there.
Make
and the fishing in New Zealand can be incredible. Yeah. So.
Another killer adventure hunt is black bear in Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
Just over the counter. Inland black bear, not on the coastline. Brad and I went up there for a grizzly hunt, and we got me a black bear tag at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And I did take a black bear, could have taken another one. But if you just roll up there, just like you would going to any other state out west,
yep.
It was the same price tag. We're looking at flights with Alaska Airlines from like Utah to Alaska. It was like cheaper than to Bozeman.
It was cheap. And then it was, you could you don't have to hire a pilot to go get dumped off somewhere. You can do the drive.
It's a DIY hunt.
Yep.
You could organize a drop near a lake, just hike up to a mountain range that has some blueberries on the side, like they all do.
Yep.
And you're in black bear country. And some areas have more thick with grizz. But what a cool hunt, man. I wanted to go back because I think you can shoot up to 3 black bears.
Yeah.
You have to check the regs, but
something like that.
Certain areas.
At that time, I believe so, in that certain area or whatever.
You could certainly, I think, shoot more than one, even as a non-resident. And so that hunt is totally undervalued.
Yep.
There's tons of country, tons of area to spot and stock black bears. Really cool adventure. DIY. You figure that one out. You could do that every year with your buddies. Head up to Alaska and hunt black bears. People don't think about that in Alaska. They think about it out west a lot as they've seen our hunts. But Alaska, man, if you go and watch our grizzly hunt,
yep,
it's a 5-part series, I think.
Yes,
we went in June. That's when we got the black bear. We went back in August, and I could have shot a whole ton of black bears. And that's when I finally got my grizz on that leg of the trip. Man, the whole thing is awesome.
It's cool. Seeing some moose, seeing some caribou, all the good stuff. The waterfowl. We got to see some pretty cool swans and stuff that are not a big waterfowl guy yet.
We talked about this. Another good hunt is Mexico.
Yes.
Mexico is real affordable. You could hook up with Jay Scott, which we have done a couple years in a row.
Yep.
You can make it as hard or as luxurious as you want. The more difficult DIY, like for us, we go the cheapest we can get with the least amount of support as possible.
Yep.
We're pretty much, Jay helps us get across the border. He has some contacts there that help us get across the border.
Help with the rifle and all the good stuff.
Yeah, make sure we have all our paperwork and insurance on our vehicle. We drive to the ranch by ourselves pretty much. Meet up with the Mexicans down there that we've gotten to know a bit. They're cool.
And we go back into remote mountains of Mexico.
That you're only getting on there, back in there on a machine, like a side-by-side or something. Yeah. And we drive back in there, and then we just have some remote wilderness all to ourselves, and we chase coos bucks.
Yep.
And
it's cool, man.
It's prime rut, big old bucks. The desert in January or February, it's a peaceful, easy feeling.
It was ridiculous this year because it was like 75, 80 degrees every day instead of 50 or 60.
It was a hot one.
But it's become one of my absolute favorite hunts to do. And it's cool. And yeah, the biggest thing there is you have to find a place that you can get the tags through a ranch owner somewhere, because everything in Mexico is private. There's no public land whatsoever.
Yep.
But you can hunt it like it's public land.
Now,
it's cool.
A DIY hunt that's been on our radar for a long time, but we have not actually done, not a DIY, but a hunt that I think could be an adventure is California black bear.
Yes.
I think that that's an untapped for us adventure.
Yes. With some giants.
And I think that there's more to it than people think.
Yeah.
We don't really know for sure, except our buddy Seth is down there, and we see
black bear pursuits.
Yeah, he has some killer bears he's on, and we just know the bears down there are great. And
Especially,
the bear hunting is good.
I think that is a very good bow hunting bears opportunity.
Yeah, that's an untapped hunt that is on our radar that we want to tap into and explore. And then I think California blacktail up north, that's another great one. I think is a good adventure.
Another good one would be doing like a barberry sheep hunt, but can be a pretty extensive physicality hunt because of water can be a situation.
So that's another one. That one could be an epic adventure in New Mexico.
Yep.
It's a public land hunt. Most of that you can do. Basically find that unicorn, that needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
You could do that as a draw tag as well.
If not, you could go do the Texas,
but then
hunt.
That's what I was going to say next. With some cash, you can find a nice Texas hunt.
Yep.
And then that would be a good budget sort of adventure hunt, I think.
Yep.
You can look at some of those. I've been looking at Ryan and I, some of these odd sheep hunts.
Yep.
It's the country that makes us want to go. The species too,
but I don't know why, but I've loved Aoudad.
Dude, they got massive.
Their shaps on the front, the hair, I don't know.
They're
cool.
Look at those mountains they live in Mexico. They're like cliffs, citadels of just castles
and
up there.
I'm all about
nature's
some type of
fortress.
Sheep hunting. But I can't really afford a lot of sheep hunting, so I'm all about it.
Yep. That one is a cool one. Yep. I kind of think we is there any of them you can think of that we're missing here?
No,
that are good adventures. There's more hunts, but
obviously tags, you gotta play the tag system situation.
Yeah.
There's a possibility of over the counter tags, but those are the big ones. Just looking into the OTC tags.
I think
figuring out what they are.
I think Australia presents some really great hunts too.
It does. We had an Aussie at our bear tour in Missoula, and I was chatting with him for a while, and he's like, "When you coming over to Australia?" And I'm like, "I haven't worked myself up to handle the snakes. I hate snakes.
That doesn't bother me.
I hate snakes.
I want a scrub bull.
I do too.
Real bad.
They're cool.
I don't know. There's something about how mean they are that I find exciting. I would love a water buffalo or something like that too, like an Asian water buffalo. But those, I don't think, I just don't know enough. Those Bantang buffalo, critters are super cool too. But Australia has some cool stuff. It's way up there on the bucket list.
Yeah.
Want to do it. Just haven't done it, man.
There's other epic adventures
but that place, it's good. It's got some affordable adventures.
No
doubt.
For sure. Especially as a bow hunter. The opportunity for bow hunting is
I also
incredible.
like, experiencing those countries.
Yeah, I
just
mean, a
being,
lot of that country is experiencing some culture for sure. It's kind of like even Mexico, just understanding a different culture
yeah.
and it makes you appreciate a lot of what we have here in the United States as a first world country. It really does.
I've been invited to Africa many times graciously, which I really appreciate.
Yep.
Only problem is I really thrive on freedom, the do it yourself, like leave me alone and let me just go.
Yep.
And the idea, like there, you kind of need someone with you, and
Yeah.
and
Again,
it's like, how wild is it really? How much of it is fence? Like, I don't know how legit I think it would be incredible to go and just meet people and experience
just
the culture and to see the
aspect
species
of it.
in life. Like the number of ungulates they have, that like we got our elk and our deer and a couple, like there, the cornucopia of
Right.
wildlife is unbelievable.
But
Megafauna.
again, it's above the budget hunts that we have listed. If you were to go do it in Africa, most of the time you're in that $6,000 to $7,000 range.
Yeah,
from what I've looked at.
Yeah, I would say so. I've seen some guys go down there, just kill a couple animals.
We haven't mentioned
back,
this, but I think there's a good opportunity to maybe, as you're doing some research or whatever on some of these hunts. Our buddy Caleb Stillions, he has the Outfitter Services.
Yeah.
Check out his website because that's a good opportunity to kind of look at those hunting opportunities in different countries, different states.
So before we wrap up,
Yep.
okay, we've thrown all these out there.
Mm-hmm.
Took about 20 minutes to cover this. Of all the hunts we mentioned, which of them is the sort of just the one you love?
Gosh, it's so stupid. But it's the Mexico Coues deer hunt.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Isn't that funny?
No,
like,
we
you're
did.
like,
I don't think we did actually mention like the Alaska moose. Alaska moose and maybe caribou side
that
of it.
was a little above our threshold.
It is
in price, but we think you could do a DIY Alaskan hunt, moose hunt.
No
caribou,
no drop hunt. Like you could do a rent a car. You might not find the absolute giant moose. There's that possibility, but
you could get a little bit of a plane ride into a spot and picked up. I think you're right around that 5,000 mark. You could pull it off.
Yeah, but for the under 4,000 mark, gosh,
but 5 would be tough. It's more like 6 to 8.
Especially trying to fly the meat back, the horns, or the antlers, all that stuff. But gosh dang it, that Mexico Coues deer hunt.
I'm telling you, I think it's so underrated. The peace and tranquility, the scenery,
and no joke. Like we
and
get
the
back
big
there.
bucks. Like when you see a unicorn, a giant, come out, it's just like, what a rewarding moment. And then try to get him. It's Mexico.
It is
really what it is. It's the draw of old Mexico. It feels different.
It does feel different, and we've been very fortunate to the spot we're at because it is super DIY. It's really remote where we're at, and
the quiet, the
it's
solitude,
quiet, but there's
wildness,
something about that.
The lions, you're seeing the mountain lions, and just like untouched,
the
pristine.
high desert feel. Like
it's quiet too. Like it just is.
Yep.
Now that one's up there.
It's
the
up
second, right there with it, I think, is New Zealand.
Absolutely.
If you're like, no, man, I want mountains that have snow on them.
If you would have rephrased the question to what is the hunt you would look forward to the most that you haven't done, for me it's New Zealand.
I said of the ones we mentioned, which one is like that's the one.
The Mexico, and I would say Mexico's way up there, but one that I have not done is absolutely New Zealand.
I'd say it's this way. If you're a bow hunter, it's New Zealand.
New Zealand. No
if you're
doubt.
a rifle hunter, you're cool with the rifle, it's Mexico.
Yeah.
But bow hunting some of these areas of Mexico for Coues deer is not a thing.
And one that I am going to put on a higher priority because I do think that I can, one, we have family over there, and one, I just think it'd be epic. And you're in that ability to hone your spot and stock skills with the bow is Hawaii.
Yeah.
It's one that I could take the family on to, get out a few days of hunting, get some family time as well.
Everybody who does that hunt, those axis and type hunts, they go back every year. Once they go back once, they kind of try it every year. And I think it does really help new archers or guys who haven't put a lot of animals through spot and stock. They haven't harvested much. It gives you so many stock opportunities and you learn a lot.
Yeah. I've had the conversation a lot with Brian Barney, and he's like, yep, it's one I do every year. I'm still going to continue to do it every year. And he's like, it hones my stocking abilities, and it's warm weather. It's cool.
Yeah. Man, so many hunts, so little time.
So true. So true.
Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I hope you got something out of that. It's just fun to talk about. If you want to support us, check out GOHUNT's gear shop. You'll save over there if you use the code GRIDDY.
Yep.
They got everything you need. You get points for future purchases. And
go check out. It's springtime, hunting season. Go check out like Dark Energy. Get your battery packs or your gear you need for energy consumption in the backcountry.
Yep. Or in a pack a raft for you guys that are hardcore adventurers.
Yes.
If you're going to Alaska or you're going on a mountain bear hunt, check out Alpaca Raft. Use the code GRIDDY over there. You'll get a good discount. And we recommend the Caribou with a nice set of paddles. The lightweight aqua bound whiskey.
Do not go with the Ozark Trail Walmart cheap brand. They will come apart on you.
Yeah. Thanks, folks, for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next episode. Stay gritty.